welcome back everybody to the NAN First Nations Best Practices in First Nations Education Forum. I'm going to get that right. There's just way too many words in that. Right now, we're going to go into an event that I have been looking forward to for the last, I don't know, quite a while. And that is the student panel. We're going to hear from the students themselves on their educational experiences and some of the challenges they've been facing, especially in these crazy times. So what I'm going to do first is introduce you to these students. Guys, when I say your name, if you could wave, that would be absolutely awesome. So first we have Beth O'Keefe from the Matawa Education Center, previously Hammersholt High School. Welcome, Beth. Then we have Justice Kwisawa from Manitouwadge Public School. Yay. Kesha Ray from Dennis Franklin Cromarty. Awesome. Kira McGuire from Red Rock District High School. And William Bottle from Dennis Franklin Cromarty. Excellent. Hi, guys. It's so awesome seeing you. Now, when we did the run through, I promised you I was going to put your names in a container. I so did it. I so did it. So we're just going to jump right into the questions. I can't wait to hear what you have to share with us. I'm going to draw a name here. First up is Beth. We're going to go to you first. So we're going to go back in time for a minute to before this crazy pandemic. As the Deputy Grand Chief mentioned this morning, tomorrow's 1 year since the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic. So where were you going to school before the pandemic hit?
I was still going to Hammersholt High School.
Okay, Hammersholt High School, what grade were you in?
11.
Okay, and did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it, yeah.
Okay, I'm dying to know why. What did you like about it? What did you enjoy?
There was a lot of support systems, especially for like First Nation students. And so I felt really supported and heard, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I apologize. My 16-week-old cat is going crazy in the background, so we're just going to ignore him. Next, we have, oh, I had two. Justice, you're up next. So where were you going to school before all this craziness started?
Manitouwadge Public School.
Okay, and what grade?
Grade 8 or grade 7. Now I'm in grade 8.
Okay, and the question of the hour, did you like it?
Yeah, it was still very great and just really fun overall.
Okay, what did you enjoy about it?
All the indigenous stuff that we do.
Okay.
And like we have a medicine wheel fire pit.
Wow.
And we do lots of outdoor activities and crafts with indigenous stuff.
Okay, awesome. I swear every time I talk to you, I want to move to Manitouwadge, and I've never said those words before. So trust me on that one. Thank you. Next up is William. So where were you going to school before all the craziness?
Before the pandemic, I was attending Dennis Franklin Cromarty in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Okay. And what grade were you in?
Before the pandemic, I was in grade 10.
Okay.
And now
Did you like it?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. The environment at DFC is actually really welcoming, and competitive sports is what really motivated me to keep going.
Okay. What sports? What are you into?
When I attended DFC, I played all sports. I played hockey, basketball, volleyball, and we actually went down to Pelican Falls for a baseball tournament.
You went against Pelican Falls?
Yeah.
Should I ask who won? Probably. Oh, shoot. Well, thank you for that. Okay, next is Kasha. Where were you going to school before all the craziness?
Before the pandemic, I was attending Dennis Franklin Cromarty High School.
Okay, and what grade?
I was in grade 11 and 12.
Okay, and did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. The staff and the teachers are really supportive. They help the students look for opportunities that can benefit them. And the school also offers a lot of cultural activities and practices like smudging and powwows, beading, all that stuff.
Okay, awesome. Now I want to go to Dennis Franklin Cromartie. I'm seeing a pattern here. This is going to keep happening. I just know it. Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. Kira, you're up next. So where were you going to school before the craziness?
Before the pandemic, I was going to Georgina Public School, which is in Nipigon, Ontario.
Okay. And what grade were you in?
I was in grade 8.
Okay. Did you like it?
I would say so, yeah. It was pretty good. And everyone knows everyone, which makes it even better. And in the Indigenous classes, we did lots of events and lots of different fun things and outdoor learning.
Wow, awesome. These guys had a different high school experience than me, I swear. I'm shaking this up now, so we don't know who goes next. Okay, so the next question is a serious one. How has the pandemic affected your education? We all know you absolutely loved your school and the experience you were having, but then the pandemic hit. So how has it affected your education? William, we're going to start with you this time.
The pandemic affected my education on numerous levels and on many occasions. I've had lack of motivation, and it was really overwhelming at the start because DFC is doing online and they sent us down Chromebooks to get our education. So the first couple of weeks were really stressful. I was watching the assignments build up, knowing I didn't know how to start and how to get into it. So much to the point where I felt like dropping out. That was the only solution to my problems. And lately, that's how it's been, but I'm not gonna quit. So
You hang in there. We believe in you. But thank you so much for your honesty. I can't even imagine the stress you were under. And when you describe watching the assignments pile up, I know that feeling, and that's stressful. So we're right there with you, William. Don't forget that. Okay. Beth, how did it affect you?
It affected me the same way it affected William with like motivation. Also because it was really hard to understand certain things because I am a hands-on learner. And also like mental health too, like being cooped up at home, it wasn't really good for my mental health. And so that affected my education.
Okay, awesome. I meant to ask, William, I'm going to go back to you for a second. So during the pandemic, they sent you the Chromebook so you could try to do your work. Were you in Thunder Bay, or where were you when that was happening?
Oh, I was in my home community. Like DFC didn't get any of us to go to Thunder Bay.
Okay,
Instead, they asked for mailing addresses, then they sent it to our houses.
okay, okay. So you're, I assume, in a remote community?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. Where are you?
I'm in Pickle Lake.
Oh, okay. Okay. I do know where that is. Been there. Okay. And Beth, you're in Thunder Bay, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you for that, guys. Justice, what did this craziness do to you?
The pandemic has affected my school a lot because of all the rules. We cannot play lots of the sports like that we were able to do, like hands-on, and just it's affected my education significantly, like just a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I honestly never even thought of it till you mentioned it, because I was never the athletic type, just going to put that out there. But if that's what you love and that's what gets you up in the morning to get you to go to school, and suddenly you have all these restrictions and there's no team activities, that had to be huge. So, wow. Thank you for sharing that, Justice.
Welcome.
Kasha, how did this pandemic affect you?
The pandemic has affected my education in a way that I'm sure a lot of other students can relate to. The inability to work with my teacher in the classroom, online learning has been very isolating, which makes it really difficult to stay motivated. And it is also really difficult to build personal skills that school helps develop, such as teamwork skills, communication skills, and time management skills.
Oh, see, you guys keep coming up with answers I never even thought of. Like, holy moly. So that's so true because, like, now you're really good at talking to yourself. Like, I mean, right? It's just not the same as that teamwork or having those social opportunities. So thank you so much for that. Kira, how has this craziness affected your education?
The pandemic affected my education in a very similar way to everyone else. It kind of put everything on a stop, and everything just all of a sudden stopped at once, and no one was really prepared. The teachers were getting used to doing everything online. No one was used to doing anything online either. So doing like work and learning from online, it was all new, and it stuck out. Like I didn't really want to do it either because I could stay in bed all day. Like I didn't have to do work.
Yeah. And I know some people really aren't good with change, right? You take your comfort from your routine and knowing what you're going to be doing. And like you just mentioned, Kira, this was change across the board. This was change in our communities, for the teachers, for the students, how we were going to educate. No one knew how long it was going to last. No one was betting we'd be having this conversation a year later. That definitely wasn't on the radar. So I totally get that. So the next question is, what are the new challenges you face this year with these new learning methods? So what are some of the challenges with this new way of learning? And first is Justice.
Some of the challenges I faced this year was being patient, especially with technology, with not being able to assemble some school things together. And we can't really have any knowledge keepers in here no more because we used to bring a lot of people in here to tell their stories and speak with us. And lots of outdoor group activities.
Okay, once again, you brought up things I never even thought of. So like patience with technology, I'm not known for my patience with technology. So that would be huge, right? And not having access to the knowledge keepers. We know that this has been really dangerous for our elders, right? So that would have been totally cut off. So again, thank you for sharing. This is just like widening my perspective here. Kasha, so what are your challenges been with this new learning environment?
Challenges I'm facing with online learning is it requires a lot of self-discipline and self-motivation to structure my day the same way school would. And there's also no hands-on learning experiences with classes such as leadership, travel and tourism, and design.
Okay, again, I'm just going to sit here with a blank face, right? Like, wow, never even thought of that. Travel and tourism during COVID. That's going to be a little difficult, right? And the self-motivation, just I won't turn on the computer today, right? Like, right? I can totally understand that. Thank you so much for your honesty. That's definitely challenging. William, what have your challenges been like with this new learning environment?
The struggles I face is working in a different environment. As Kira mentioned, that you're at home and you have a choice of when you can or can't do the work. Because you have the option to stay in bed all day, and that kind of struggles and interferes with your education on many levels. And working without a physical help, like hands-on learners, you can have a tutor, teachers enforcing you to do your work. As where you're at home, you have a choice of whether or not you want to motivate yourself to do the work at hand. And this won't apply to everyone, but some students can have struggles and challenges at home that can interfere with their educational levels. And limited school supplies. As I mentioned, I'm working on a Chromebook from home. You won't have everything accessible to you as you would in the school.
100%, 100%. You're, as we saw, 16-week-old kittens don't care if you're trying to work right now. Little siblings or not. If you got a 2-year-old or a 6-year-old little brother and sister, they want to play, they see you, they don't get it. Yeah, a lot of challenges. Okay, thank you so much for that, William. Kira, you're next. How are you doing with this new learning environment?
It's different. So this is my first year in high school. So I was expecting like sports teams, like joining a volleyball team, doing activities that a normal school year would, but none of that happened. We didn't get no sports teams. We didn't get to do almost any activities in class that would involve people being near each other and talking to each other, and just like things like that, physical things that have been restricted because of COVID.
I just realized when you were talking, you guys are going to have like the best stories ever. Like 2 decades from now, right? When you're talking about, oh, you think that was hard. When I went to high school, it was this, this, and this. Like people aren't even going to believe the reality that you guys are going through. And by the way, before I forget, kudos to all of you for facing these challenges every single day, and you're still there, you're still doing it, and that needs to be celebrated. So way to go, guys. Thank you so much for that, Kira. Beth, what's it been like for you with this new learning environment?
Well, they pretty much said everything that I faced as well. But I wanted to add that I had a routine set for myself, which made everything much easier. And so the pandemic really altered that.
Yeah. Routines right out the window, right? Like, again,
Yeah.
in every way you can imagine. Like, my heart goes out to you guys. Okay, so I got a question for you. Now, this one I'm really interested in hearing about because I love hearing solutions. And you've already proven to me that you guys come up with answers I've never even thought of. So what would help? Like you're in the middle of this crazy new learning environment. You want to get your education. You're fighting to get your education. What would help? So who gets to answer that first? Is, I can't open the piece of paper. Beth, well, that was convenient. There you are. Okay, so what would help?
I think that like mental health help would be very good because a lot of us are under a lot of stress. It's very different than, like for me, I'm a senior. And so the past 3 years, I knew what to do, but now it's very difficult to understand certain things. And so mental health would be good, like a good support system. And like students, I think if they had that, it would be a lot easier to reach out to people.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, you might not have thought of this, but so if you don't know an answer, it's okay. But you talked about mental health support. So what would be the best way for you? Like, would you want them to be calling you, texting you, doing it online, like Zoom or that kind of environment? What would work?
Personally, I like to be like contacted by them because as someone who deals with a lot of mental health, it's hard to reach out to people. And so having them contact me is a really good like support. And I know that they're like thinking of me, I suppose. And so it's a lot easier to like communicate those problems.
Okay, that's a really important point because I might have thought, well, I don't want to bother her, but here you're going like, I wish they would contact me, right? So does it matter to you if they call or text or it's online? You don't care which way?
No.
Long as they reach out, that's what's important. Way to go. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, who am I chatting with next? It's Kira. Okay, so what would help, Kira?
Patience, I would say, because I'm not sure if it's like this in every school board, but there's 2 classes a day and 4 semesters now. So it's like we have a very limited amount of time and we have to do a bunch of work every day. Because one day is like 2 days in a regular school. So it's like you're being forced to do work after work after work. And you're just kind of learning things like one day, then change it the next day. It's like 1 week you'll be doing 1 unit, next week you're doing a different unit. So everything's kind of going at a very fast pace. So having patience, yeah, would be a main thing.
Okay. So just so I understand, what would like a normal day be? Does it start like you log on at 9 o'clock?
I've been going to school, so
Oh, okay. So you're
yeah.
actually in the building.
Yeah, I'm
So
in my school building right now, actually.
Okay, so you come in at 9 o'clock and then is it one class until like noon?
I have one class from 8:50 to 11:30, and then
Okay.
I have my next class from 12:20 to 3 o'clock.
Okay,
So,
and then
yeah.
the next day it's 2 different classes or
It's the same
ones?
thing. It's the same ones. Yeah.
Okay, but it's just a fast pace. So,
Yeah.
wow. So patience. Okay, so we got get in touch with me, make sure I'm okay, and patience, because like holy mollies, this isn't easy. Okay, awesome. I should be writing this stuff down. Someone write this down for me. William, what would help?
For me, the solutions would be finding a comfortable and quiet workplace within your community or household. And that is actually a huge factor that applied to me because I'd constantly have people talking, hear dumps, because I live in the basement. So all I hear is just people walking all day long. And another factor for me is asking a teacher or somebody in your family to assist you with your schoolwork. So having a little bit of extra help seems desperate, but for me, I love it.
Yeah. And I don't think it seems desperate at all. I think it seems wise. Like your elders will say, like the best thing you can do is acknowledge when you need help, right? And get that help rather than struggling. But I love your idea. It's almost like satellite workspaces or something, like someplace you could go where it's quiet and you have the supports you need, access to whatever to be able to do your work. So that's a really great idea. Thank you for that, William. So, okay, let's see who's next. You guys just see you're solving all the world's problems. Just like Gabrielle said earlier, right? The youth have our answers. This is awesome. Kasha, what would help?
Some things that will help me in my new learning environment is staying connected with my school. So like having active social media pages and maybe virtual events for students after class time.
Okay, that sounds fun and like a really good idea because you said the social aspect, and as parents we know that's a huge part of learning, right? I love the active social media pages too. Like you're on social media, so why not be able to hang out with your friends and do those virtual events? I love that. Okay, thank you for that. Teachers out there, are you listening? And Justice. Okay, what would help?
Some things that would help adjust my learning environment would be more outdoor and indoor learning space because we have a pretty small school, and just like a quieter, more zoned out space.
Okay, so you're having a problem with like interruptions and distractions too?
Yes.
Yeah, I totally get that. If there's any chance to squirrel and pay attention to something else, it's going to happen for me. So I can totally understand that. Okay, so now I have an interesting question for you guys. No one ever asked me this in school, that's for sure. So we're thinking of an effective teacher, which means a teacher who does a really good job helping you to learn, because that's their job, right? So what do you think are the most important characteristics of an effective teacher? So let's see who goes first. this keeps happening. Justice, you're right there on the screen, so you're going first. So what do you think?
Some important characteristics in a teacher for me would be fun, smart, easygoing, and believes in me, and also listens to the students' voices and loves to get outside and outdoorsy.
Wow, fun, smart. What was next? Do your list again.
Going,
Yeah,
believes in me,
huge.
listens to the students' voices, and loves to get outdoors.
Way to go. Yeah, I think that needs to be a job description. I love that. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's see how many of you had the same kind of things on your list. Kasha, what's on your list? What's the characteristics of an effective teacher?
From my perspective, the most important characteristics of an effective teacher are someone who enjoys what they're teaching, they're really knowledgeable about it, and they're passionate about what they teach. Also, a teacher that connects with their students, has a positive outlook or a positive attitude, and most importantly, I think good listening skills.
Wow, I love that list. And isn't it true? You can tell when someone's interested in what they're teaching, right? Like they can't hide that. They can't pretend. It's obvious, right? But I love that, yeah, that passion and listening again, right? Being able to hear you. So thank you so much for that. I knew this was going to be a great list. I just knew it. Okay, William. What do you think are the characteristics of an effective teacher?
Characteristics of an effective teacher, perspective, is the ability to be understanding, interactive, enthusiastic, humorous, and to check up on your students. And all these characteristics actually applied to my basketball coach, Aaron Guthrie. And he was my grade 11 teacher. So whenever I wouldn't hand in I'd have a delay in my assignment sometimes. And whenever he noticed that, he would email me, ask how I am, how the work's going, and if I need any assistance. So he really motivated me to keep going with DFC online, because I have thought of transferring to the school I have here, but the environment at DFC is just, I can't leave them.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love the shout out. Totally. I encourage all of you to do that if you have someone that's really just been in your corner. And I love that he reached out like that. Like, how could you not feel valuable or important, right? They noticed that you didn't put in the assignments. So that's amazing. I love that. I agree. An effective teacher. That's a holy moly's teacher. So shout out. That was amazing. Thank you. Beth, what are the characteristics of an effective teacher as far as you're concerned?
I think patience, understanding, and like guidance. Also, like as William said, check-ins, because I had a last quadmester, I had a teacher who did regular check-ins with me, and it really helped me like get on track with my stuff. And like she'd come ask me like, how are you doing? Like, or if I miss an assignment, she'd be like, why did you not hand this in? Are you okay? Like stuff like that are really helpful. And like, it's just a sense of like the teacher caring about their students that is really motivating and has a level of understanding that makes me want to do my work. Yeah.
That is so awesome. Are you okay? Like, most important question ever, right? Like that just sums it up. And I just realized, like, all these teachers, especially these ones you were giving shout outs to, their world got turned upside down too, right? This is just as crazy for them, whatever's going on in their home life, they're trying to adjust to this, and they're still able to pull off that kind of support. That's like high five to those teachers. That's amazing. Kira, what do you think are the the characteristics of an effective teacher?
Probably, as most of other people said, being like patient, checking up on people, and also being organized. Yeah, mostly the things were already said.
There is nothing more insane than trying to follow someone who's not organized.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because they're
Being
all over
organized.
the map and you have no idea where they're going next. Been
Yeah.
there, done that. That I love that you brought that up. It was like, I have no idea where she's turning next, right? Thank you so much for that. Okay, so next question. I need a drum roll here. Okay. What advice would you give teachers in the audience who are watching about teaching First Nations students? So what advice would you give them if you now have the power to change some teachers so they can help the next round of students? What advice would you give them? Okay, let's see who's going first. And it is William.
My advice would be to be understanding of a student's cultural heritage and to ask questions about a student's cultures and to actually be inclusive for activities and to search for more cultural events going around your community for them so they can participate within it. And another thing would be to make suggestions to a student and ask them what would help them get a better education.
Wow. Okay. I'm just, wow. 110%. I just agree with everything you just said. There is no follow-up to that. That's just, yes. We need to put that on a billboard somewhere or something. That was really good. Thank you for that, William. Next is Kira. What advice would you give to teachers teaching First Nations students?
Mine's kind of like opposite of William's. It's kind of just treat people as you treat everyone else. Don't like look down on someone just because of their culture or something like that.
Yeah.
And just treat them like as regular people, you know? Don't make them seem like they're sticking out of the crowd, because it's uncomfortable in any situation, I would say.
Yeah, don't center them out. And even in line with something William said, don't make assumptions. Like he had said, ask them about their culture. Don't just assume that they know the answer or that they'd be interested in this. And I totally hear you on centering someone out, right?
Yeah.
Don't make them answer for all First Nations people, whatever you do, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for that. Next is Kasha. What advice would you give to a teacher teaching First Nations students?
Some advice I would give to teachers teaching First Nations students is to be patient with them and establish a relationship with the student, as well as educate yourself on the challenges First Nations students face, such as leaving home, it could be their first time, or statistics.
Okay, I absolutely love that. And don't expect the student to teach you that stuff, right? Like do your research ahead of time. I love that point. That's, yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, next is Beth. What advice would you give to a teacher teaching First Nations students?
Also, as I said, patience, and also being aware that it is, like, at least for me, it was my first time being like away from home. Like I lived there my whole life, and I moved out here at 13 to like a big school, and it was so like overwhelming, and it took a very long time to get used to the routine. And also like it was really hard being away from my family and people I love, and also my people. Like I wasn't surrounded by people I'm comfortable with, so like entering a classroom even was very, very difficult, and like I don't know, it was really hard. So being aware of the challenges of the mental health that we face being away from home.
Yeah. Oh, I can so relate to that. That uncomfortable, because this is not your peers, your group of people, right? I can so relate with that. I got to share this with you. I think you guys will think it's funny. When I was in high school a long time ago. We're going to own that, right? Just put that out there. But I went to high school in a totally different community than from where I lived, right? So kind of the same idea where I'm now about to get into a bigger population with a whole bunch of people that I've never met before. And I was totally intimidated. It was grade 9. I was scared to death. I'm not even kidding. When I walked in the door the very first time, for one thing, I'm in grade 9. There's all these grade 11, grade 12 students. Then they all seemed like they were 9 feet tall, right? Like suddenly I seemed really, really small. I'm not even kidding. This 6'5" guy walked by, and on his t-shirt, it said, "I eat short people for lunch." I was like so scared. Like, what am I doing here? I don't want to be anywhere near that person. That one scares the daylights out of me. So thank you for sharing that. Justice, what advice would you give a teacher who's going to be teaching First Nation students?
Some advice I would give to a teacher if they didn't know too much about it would be start off with the basics and be willing to learn about our experiences, get help from the elders and others from the community, get involved with the communities like outside of school. Listen, like for example, our student council wanted to have a smudge every Friday to start and then add more days gradually. Our teachers listen and even in COVID are making this happen for us.
Okay. Okay, Manitouwadge again for the win, right? Now I'm back to wanting to move to Manitouwadge. That was absolutely amazing. I love that they found a way to make that happen. That's just, wow, fantastic. Beth, I did want to comment on something. You had mentioned how hard it was coming out of your community to go to school. The other one that I don't think people think of is I've met people that were the first in their family to do that. They're like the oldest child. So they didn't even have older siblings to ask them what it was like. They were the first. That's even more stressful, right? And that's the kind of stuff a teacher needs to know. So thank you for that. Okay, next question. We're almost done here, guys. You're just doing phenomenal. What are you most looking forward to? We did the past, we did the present, now we're looking at the future. What are you most looking forward to when you're able to get back to like a real classroom and your friends and all of this insanity is behind us? So what are you most looking forward to? Who's gonna go first? It is Beth.
I'm looking forward to getting the academic help that I needed this year. And I'm also looking forward to seeing my friends every day and like teachers that I've built a relationship with throughout my 4 years at this school. And so that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, I hear you. I have promised many people I'm going to hug the stuffing out of them when I finally can, right? Just because it's been so long, just those relationships you built and you cherish, and just to be able to enjoy them again. Awesome. Thank you for that. Justice, what are you most looking forward to when all of this insanity is behind us?
I've been in my classroom since September. But when the rules go away, I'm excited for sports teams and competitions. Getting back out on the land, coming together as a school without technology. Having people come to our school to teach us skills, hang out with friends without having to stay 2 meters apart at the same time. And all of my experiences throughout all these questions would not be possible without my principal, Miss Ballog.
Another shout out. I'm just loving this. Thank you so, so much. But I'm curious because you're the sports dude. So I just love that. So wave a magic wand. If you had your choice, what's the very first sport you'd like to sign up to do?
Hockey.
Hockey. Wow. And he didn't even hesitate. It was like hockey. Thank you so much for that, Justice. Kira, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to having a normal high school experience. That's something I haven't been able to experience, and I've heard about like sports teams, traveling, going places, or doing events outside, such as what Justice said. and it just like having a normal experience here. It seems so different to me. Like I couldn't imagine that from where I am right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, your experience, all of you, it's so incredibly different. Like I think about, I was stressed because I was in the middle of this huge crowd. Like these guys would kind of like 10 other people in the same room, right?
Yeah.
It's just the exact opposite. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Kasha, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm mostly looking forward to extracurricular cultural activities such as drumming and beating because I really enjoy doing those at DFC. I'm also looking forward to seeing all the teachers and the staff and students from different communities.
Awesome. Drumming and beating. And now I want to go to DFC again. Like you guys keep doing this to me, right? I'm moving to Manitowaj and somehow going to DFC at the same time. I don't know. I've got to make it happen. So, William, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm mostly looking forward to the social interaction between the staff and students, and then the friendly environment, just to feel that again. And the field trips, the hands-on learning, and I don't know if many agree with me on this, but the lectures.
Yeah. 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 It was like, I don't know if you're going to agree, but I like the lectures. That's awesome. I love your honesty. That was amazing. Right?
As Justice
Awesome.
mentioned, the sports, you know, the being pulled out of class early to go play a basketball or volleyball game, like that feeling is the best feeling to me overall.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And
That
for the
was.
teachers, just know that extra interaction and communication between you and a student can go miles.
Yeah, way to go. Right. And everyone's nodding. Wow, you you nailed that one, William. Thank you so much for that. You guys like out of the park. Like seriously. So I am just so impressed with you. I do different courses teaching people public speaking. To do what you guys did today, like out of the park. You all did amazing. So one more time, I just want you to wave to the crowd here. Beth O'Keefe from Matawa Education Center. Woo! Give a shout out to your
I
Beth.
actually go to Hammersholt.
Oh, you go to Hammersholt now. That's right. Yes. Way to go. Thank you so much. Thank you for correcting me on that. Justice Quiswa from Manitowaj Public School. Yay. And we know you're in Manitowaj because I've highlighted it 52 times, right? Kasha Ray from Dennis Franklin Cromartie. Thank you so much. Kira McGuire from Red Rock District High School. Hang in there, girl. And William Bottle from Dennis Franklin Cromartie. We believe in all of you. And thank you so much for joining us for this event. You guys are absolutely awesome. Miigwech. For everyone watching us now, we're about to go into our lunch break. So we're going to be back at 1:15, and boy, do we have something amazing for you. So again, get away from the screens, move around, get some water, get some food into you. That's really important. And we will see you at 1:15 this afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much again, guys, students. You rock. Bye-bye.